This is now tarot lesson number 172. And today I have three things to go over. One is Jordanhill, a well, and a Celtic Cross. This is kind of, the first 2 points are about just generally how to think. And then the Celtic Cross is going to be more specifically about how to read a Celtic Cross. So I need to tell you first about Jordanhill. So Jordanhill is a teacher training college in Glasgow, and I was going to go there after I graduated with a degree in history, right? So I didn't know what I wanted to do, and so I thought, okay, I'll go to teacher training college. I really wanted to leave the country and go anywhere, just get out of Scotland, get out of Britain, especially get out of Glasgow. But I didn't know what to do, and I didn't want a job particularly, like a commitment to some company or to the civil service or whatever. So I decided to go to Jordanhill and get a teaching qualification, and then a couple of years of practice, and then I would be fully qualified. Then I could leave the country. But I had a summer job as a security guard, and about 2:00 in the morning, I was sitting sheltered from the rain, and I decided I'm not going to go to Jordanhill. I'm going to leave I'm going to find the first job I can find anywhere in the world and go there. And then the following day, I looked in the London Times, and they wanted history graduates to teach in Switzerland. So I phoned them and got the papers and filled them in and airmailed them back and all the rest of it. And I got the job. And in that September, I went to Switzerland. And that sort of everything that happened is a result of going to Switzerland. So the reason I'm telling you this is because what happened. The question is, what's going on with people and with our lives? So I decided I wasn't going to go to Jordanhill because I really wanted to leave the country. So what came first? Is it that I had the inspiration to not go to Jordanhill and to find a job somewhere? And then the following day, I was kind of motivated and ready to spot the ad for history graduates. Or did some part of me already know the ad was going to appear in the paper tomorrow or the next day, and my inner self prompted me and inspired me, you could say, to decide, okay, I'm not going to go to Jordanhill. I'm going to find anything I can find anywhere. And I think that's the question. Is it, what comes first? Is it that we make the decision and then things fall into place? Or is it that it's already done and fallen into place, and we are prompted, and we either listen to what we're telling ourselves or listen to our inner prompting, or we don't? And I was remembering a few days ago, my astrology teacher told me years ago, people talking about fate and free will, and she said, everything is totally fated, but we have to act as if we had total free will. And I'm giving that idea for you to think about. Okay, that's part one. Part two is the well. I came across this idea a while ago, and I may have mentioned it in an earlier video, but I can't remember what I've been talking about particularly, especially 2 or 3 weeks ago. So if you've got a well, okay, this ties in with the idea of people talk about the inner being or the spirit or the soul. And I don't like using those words because I don't know what they mean, and it's hard to pin them down. And people have got their own ideas about what the spirit is and what it can do and what it can't do and what it's for and all the rest of it. So this idea of a well, if you've got a village and you dig a well, the well fills with water, or some water comes into the well naturally. And so if the village has a well, it can prosper because they've got water. And the job of the villagers is to maintain the well. They don't have to fill up the water into the well. They can use it, but they're meant to maintain it and keep it clean. And I think that's what I'd like to suggest for the inner being or the soul or the spirit. Think of it as a well. It's a source of water for life and cleanliness and growing crops and everything. But your inner being, think of it as your inner well. And if you your job sort of is to maintain the well and keep it clean, which can mean things like, rather than be negative and see the worst in people, don't bother, see the best in what people can offer. And that's, in a way, keeping your well clean, which means that when you go to your own well, your own inner being, what you draw from it is going to be clean and valuable and useful. And this kind of ties in with, if you've got a moment of inspiration or an idea to do something, where did the idea come from? If it came from your well, your inner well, you have to follow it. You have to do something with it, because it's not going to misguide you or mislead you. It's always clean and pure because of the work that you've done, and also because of its nature. But if you think that or accept that your ideas come from the inner well that you are cultivating and developing, then you really can't go wrong. You're not going to be taken to some place that's horrible, because it's your own well, it's your own spirit and soul that's guiding you. So that was the well. Point 3 is about this. I've got the first 6 cards of Celtic Cross. And so I'm thinking I'll talk a little bit about the first 2 cards today, and then I'll show you the next 4, so that you can think about what you would say, what you would do with it. And then next video, I'll look at these 4, the final 4. So it's always easier and better, I think, to have a question rather than talk about cards in isolation or theoretically. It's better to have a question. So my question ties in with Substack. I've got this Substack account, which is kind of like a blogging platform, and I posted something yesterday about retrograde reverse cards, and so I do want to make more regular contributions to Substack, but I've had the account for several months and I haven't really done anything with it. And I thought, what do I do with Substack? How do I treat it? What do I do? How do I develop it? Or do I even bother? And so that's what the Celtic Cross is about. What do I do with Substack? So one of the things with the Celtic Cross is, instead of just turning a card and looking for an answer or the answer, think of it, and I was thinking of football. So imagine that I'm assuming that everybody knows something about football or soccer. I hate that word, but football. So let's say you're the coach of a particular team, Liverpool, okay, and you're going to play Manchester United. So you, the manager, have to pick the team. You've got a squad of 25 players, and you've got to pick the best team to play that particular other team, Manchester United. So I've got this diagram here. That's what a football field looks like. That's the centre spot, and you've got the goal and the goal. So if you have, if you play Manchester United, and you know that Manchester United have a player here who likes to charge ahead down the wing and cross the ball into the centre for the centre forward, but you know that this player, that's his natural ability, and so you need somebody to defend against him. So let's say you've got 2 possible choices. You can pick a defensive player who's really good at defending and who's more motivated to defend, but who will also attack up his wing. Or you can pick a defender who's more inclined to want to attack all the time. And so you may end up, if you pick one person, he's going to charge ahead, which gives space for this attacker to come and maybe pass the ball to score a goal. So your choice is between picking a defensive-minded defender or an attack-minded defender. And against Manchester United, maybe you decide, okay, I'm going to pick the defensive-minded player rather than the offensive-minded player, because we have to in some way deal with the threat posed by this attacking forward who plays for Manchester United. So in the same way, you think of a Celtic Cross not so much giving you an answer, but it's more like giving you, in this case, 10 or more pieces of information that enables you to make a better decision, right? So we're not looking for, yes, do this. We're looking for this and this and this and this are all factors that are important for the answer to the question. And so we've got, at the moment we've got 6 cards, so we're going to come up with maybe 6 statements or multiples of 6 statements that enable us to make a better or more correct decision about what to do or the correct course to take. I can't read my writing here. Okay, so with that in mind, I think what we do is we spend some time before the reading or just generally in our study period, and we think about what do we, the question is, what do I do about Substack? So the first card is the atmosphere surrounding the question. What sort of information do we want this first card to give us? It's not, we don't want it to tell us about the people that will be involved or who's going to read the information or how am I going to put the information together. Think about the kind of information you want this card to give you. And then the second card is the opposing force. Is that going to represent obstacles or what gets in the way? Or is it going to be, if the first card is a problem, is the second card going to be an antidote or a solution to the problem? Or are we looking at the first 2 cards as being the atmosphere or the tone of the reading or the tone of the answer? Because the third card goes down below and it's the foundation. So that can tell us about the past, or what I've been doing when it came to Substack, or what my initial impulse was when it came to Substack. But it's also, because it's the foundation, it's what I've got to build, what I can build on. So if the card is upright, maybe it's going to show me good things to do that I can build on. If the card is upside down, maybe it's pointing out this is a weakness or this is not going to work. So figure out a different way of doing things, or figure out how to get over the obstacle. If the third card here, the foundation, is upside down. And then the fourth card is the influence that's passing away. So in a way, this leads to that. But also, because this is the influence that's passing away, it's the present. It's happening now, but it's also connected to the past. And it's also not going to be there much in the future. So this can be a temporary stage that I'm going through, or that the questioner is going through when it comes to the question. And then the card up here is what may come. So you can choose it if you want it. And what's over here is what will come. So these are 2 cards for the future. What may come and what will come. This may come, if you like it, it's a separate path of development and you can go along it. But either way, this is what will come. This has to go through that. You can't get away from what's shown here. It may be temporary. It may be an incident, a single incident, or it can be a recurring theme. And we don't know which until we turn the card. And then the 4 cards up here. But what we do is, before turning the cards, I think it's a good idea to figure out what sort of information you want from the card in different positions. Do you know what I mean? So the first card I get for what I do with Substack, I get the Chariot upside down. So does this describe the question? I think it does in its own way, because the Chariot is a vehicle and a driver. And if you're the driver of the vehicle, you ideally you know where you're going. But as the card is upside down, I don't know where I'm going with Substack. So it can be that it's important for me. The atmosphere is one of me making a decision or a commitment to a particular course of action when it comes to Substack. Excuse me. I've got kind of a cold. Let me drink some water here. Okay. So that's the first card, the atmosphere. And the opposing force is the magician. So the opposing force can represent what gets in the way. So what kind of person or situation is shown by the magician card? It can be somebody who has lots of ideas, but that's getting in the way of me making a decision. So maybe the first two cards indicate the need to narrow your focus or narrow my focus. And instead of having 1,000 ideas and trying to develop all of them, this has happened to be number 7, and that's number 1. So maybe I choose 7 themes or 7 blog posts or whatever it happens to be. So we've got the Chariot here and the Magician, because the Magician's full of ideas. And I put these two cards aside because if the second card had been the 8 of Cups as the opposing force, then the opposing force shows somebody walking away. So here, with the Chariot reverse and the 8 of Cups, I need to first make a fresh start, walk away, leave behind what I've been doing or what I've been thinking, and make a fresh start and leave it all behind and begin again. Whereas that's not the situation here with the Magician, because with the Magician, I've got lots of ideas. It's not like I need to start again or come up with basic ideas. I've already got the ideas. I just need to actually implement them or choose the direction or the destination and start going towards a destination. Whereas here, with the 8 of Cups, I don't know, I don't know what the destination is, or I've been going in the wrong direction with it. One way or the other, I need to leave something behind and move on to maybe a new way of thinking about Substack or something. And the other card I came up with, or I picked, was this 5 of Cups. So again, it's a different story, a different atmosphere, because here you've got somebody who doesn't quite know what to do or what direction to go in. And with the 5 of Cups as the opposing force, you don't know where to go, and you're not happy about it, because the 5 of Cups shows things have failed. So it's a bit like you're not happy with the situation because things have been going badly or things have been going wrong, and that's all you can think about, or that's all you can see. And the fact that you're focusing on things going wrong, you don't expect things to be able to go well. And if you do want things to go well, you have to turn and look at the 2 cups that remain and be more positive and more optimistic about the situation. So we've got the Chariot reversed and we've got the Magician, and maybe you put them side by side and just see, rather than look in a book for a meaning, you put these 2 cards side by side and pay attention to the random ideas that you get, because it's a bit like this is the atmosphere, right? And that's the opposing force, the Magician. But instead of thinking of it as the opposing force, think of it as a continuum, right? So you've got, if I can do another little thing here, you've got 1 card here and you've got 1 card here, but you've got movement back and forth between them. So instead of it being either this or that, you think of it as a path or a particular line of development that's happening that's happening between these 2 cards. So what kind of atmosphere, what kind of continuum is it? You're going back and forth between uncertainty and a need to make a decision. And maybe you're because the Chariot's a vehicle, maybe you're driving too fast or driving too slowly. And so we've got the charioteer maybe needs to be replaced by the magician, so that the driver needs to be fresh and take an idea that may be an old idea and do something new with it or something different with it, because it's the magician's number one. So let me look at the time. Oh, okay. So that's the first two cards. So I'll show you these cards here, the foundation. And so think about what you want the foundation card to show you. And the foundation card was the Nine of Cups. So what was my starting point for doing Substack? Maybe that's what the card shows. It's the past, it's the foundation. Is it a good foundation or not? What are the strengths and weaknesses of the foundation? What's passing away is the Seven of Pentacles. So it's interesting because that's a card of thinking about the next step or the next coin that you're going to take. And the Chariot can be not knowing what your destination is. So because this is passing away, I will soon come up with a destination or come up with ideas to develop, because not indecision, this thinking or need to think things through and ponder and meditate, that's passing away. What may come is the Emperor. So think about that. It has great possibilities. It's not guaranteed, but I should think about establishing an empire, right? So maybe it's that Substack isn't just Substack. Substack is part of a broader approach to the tarot, or to going back to the well, about how to develop your well, your inner, whatever you want to think about, where your inner source of wisdom or inspiration or source of healing, because water can be healing. So that's what may come, and this is what will come, is a King of Coins reversed. So it's a king, but it's upside down. So I'm not going to be in a dominant position for a while. And it's Pentacles, which gets us back to here. So this is passing away. It's Pentacles, it's money, but it's also values. And we've got the king upside down here in the future. So the values that I begin with, because this is passing away, are going to have to be updated and changed in the future because the king is upside down. So watching this, if I came to you for a reading and I said, what do I do with Substack? Those are the first 6 cards. Make some notes about what you would tell me, and leave them in the comment, or just know what you think, and we'll take it from there. So that was it, I think. I don't think I have anything else. Oh yeah. I'm thinking of doing a YouTube astrology channel, only because I'm so tired of all the rubbish that's out there. And the other thing is, people, if you're interested in the tarot, maybe you have an interest as well in astrology, even though they're very different things. They're kind of not similar, but they'll give you answers to questions that are not maybe obvious, as a way of understanding what's going on. So I'll tell you more about that next time. And the other thing is, somebody called, I did an interview a couple of weeks ago, and I meant to mention this at the beginning, but I'll put the link in the description down below, because we did the interview and then it was fixed up and it's now available online. I got an email from the interviewer and I forgot to mention it. Anyway, so that was it for the moment. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again. Okay? Bye-bye.